The following is a special two-part episode of the Barefoot Lawyer Reports on Falun Gong. Please check back in 2 weeks to hear part 2 of our episode.
Welcome, everybody. This is the second podcast for the Barefoot Lawyer Reports. I'm here today with Chen Guangcheng and with Sen Nieh, who is a professor of engineering at Catholic University. Today, we want to discuss the Falun Gong. I know many of you may know about them, but some of you may not know anything about them. So let me ask Professor Nieh to start off. What is the Falun Gong?
Well, Falun Gong is also known as Falun Dafa. It's an ancient spiritual practice with the Buddhist traditions, which combined meditations and gentle exercises like yoga or Tai Chi type, and with the moral philosophy of three basic principles: truthfulness, compassion, and tolerance. All the Falun Gong practitioners not only do the meditation exercises, but also try their best to adopt the three principles: truth, compassion, tolerance, to improve their characters, to live their personal life.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Why are they having problems in China if their three principles are truth, compassion, and was it tolerance? Yeah, so why would a group that's dedicated to truth, compassion, and tolerance have trouble in China?
Falun Gong was first brought to public about 30 years ago in 1992 from the northeastern part of China. At that time, there was Qigong fever. Qigong is the name of ancient cultivation.
Ancient.
In ancient Chinese culture, people tried to uplifting and refining the mind and body is called cultivation.
Okay.
And the modern language used Qigong to describe the cultivation. So there was a Qigong fever in China, so with more than probably 500 different types of Qigong. So it's very popular that Falun Gong was introduced in the later phase of the Qigong fever in 1992. And because it's good, with good benefits and of health and others. And most importantly, it requires higher morality. You don't only do the meditation exercise, you need to be a good person in the school, in the workplace, in the family, in the society. And that was embraced by Chinese people. So Chinese people embraced Falun Gong in 6 years. It grows to 100 million.
Wow.
People. It's one out of 13, with 1.3 billion in China. 1 out of 13 people practiced Falun Gong in 1998. So
what was the year of the crackdown?
It was in July 1999.
So let me ask you, Guangcheng, why did they crack down in 1999 on Falun Gong?
I remember the Communist Party, 1999. Yeah, the Communist Party tried to persecute the Falun Gong, and at that afternoon, I'm listening to the radio at home. In the radio, the people said, "Okay, hold on, yeah, please." Keep listening to the radio. At 2 o'clock, we will have very, very important news to tell you. So I think, oh, what news? Yeah, they repeated that several times. When 2 o'clock, I saw the Communist Party used all mouthpiece to criticize to Falun Gong, to see that this so bad, that's so bad, blah, 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 a lot of like this. and I check all the channel, all the radios, the same voice that come from the central government. So all the countries' radio just show the same content. Yeah, because the Communist Party very worried lost the power, so any organization or even any person, if they become very popular, they have a lot of followers, the Communist Party will find a way to tear down them.
A normal person, normal mind can never really figure out how evil thinks, how evil do.
How evil does?
Yeah, there are possible 4 reasons. Number one, on the surface, is that massive popularity and rapid growth, that about 70 to 100 million people, which outnumbered the membership CCP, which was 60 million at that time.
Mm-hmm.
That concerns the CCP. That's on the surface.
Yeah.
And in the deeper level is that Falun Gong's teaching made the people have complete independence from CCP's control.
Mm-hmm.
That CCP is a totalitarian regime that they want to control everything.
Right.
For all public events or private life, they want to control people's whereabouts, the behavior. They even want to control people's thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Under totalitarian systems, there's no independent press and media, there's no independent judicial assistance. Then if there's a large group in the society, you either under complete their tight control and show your loyalty, or you will be labeled as enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Another deeper reason, number 3, I feel that's really the reason, is that the Falun Gong's teaching of these 3 core principles, truthfulness, compassion, and forbearance, are incompatible with communist teaching.
Mm-hmm.
So ever since 1949, communists grabbed the power in China, they have forcibly imposed communist ideas to Chinese people. And Falun Gong is kind of reintroduced this ancient wisdoms of spiritual development to Chinese people.
Yeah, I want to come back to that. What's the 4th? Is there an additional reason why the CCP wants to get
The 4th one is the side story that's just one man's jealousy and political motivations.
Uh-huh.
The former head of CCP, Jiang Zemin, he was a weak leader and not very popular.
Mm-hmm.
He used his political movements to crack down on these peaceful people, try to grab the power.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, he did.
Mm-hmm.
He success on that.
Was he one of the leaders in the crackdown?
He was the person single-handedly launched the crackdown.
Okay.
Because he was jealous about the popularity of Falun Gong. There are 7 top leaders in political bureaus, members, and family member of them. Those 7 top leaders practice Falun Gong too, and more leaders against the crackdown. But Jiang Zemin go desperate to say that.
Were any of the Falun Gong practitioners who were also in the CCP, were any of those among leaders in the democracy movement in China, around Tiananmen Square? In other words,
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so doing Qigong exercise is very popular in China, including Falun Gong. So it's a part of the life.
Mm-hmm.
People get out early in the morning to do exercise in the park. Almost all the park in China is that. Then, so Falun Gong was embraced by all walks of life,
Mm-hmm.
from college professors, students, to factory workers, farmers, from cultural elites to ranking generals
Mm-hmm.
in the militaries and police officers too. There's no difference. So among this 1 out of 13 people, they are everywhere in different levels, from young to old, from men and women from different parts of China. So So there are, there's about, I was told that in some literature say that about 1/4 of CCP members practice Falun Gong.
Still or then? Back then or still?
Back then.
Yeah.
Later on, it becomes politically incorrect to practice.
Right.
They probably practice privately at home, but they won't say anything. And also, it's about 1/4 of PLA military soldiers practice Falun Gong.
Again, back then?
Back then.
Okay. Let me ask Guangcheng, you seem like you have something. Do you want to say something about the CCP?
Oh, yeah. The Communist Party, make lines. For example, the Communist Party said, oh, Falun Gong, ask some practitioner come to Beijing to protest in Tiananmen Square and burn themselves like that. We know that all that is wrong. The Communist Party just fake news. Make a lot of fake news to show to Chinese people, to try to make the Chinese people hate Falun Gong, but until now I think not successful. So that is the Chinese, the Communist Party's way. They always use that way to do this. For example, if some person the party don't like, they will find a way to make your to make you sounds very bad. In fact, when I was in mainland China, a lot of Falun Gong practitioners talked to me, and some people before they join Falun Gong, we know each other. When they practice the Falun Gong, they become very good. Before maybe for example, some selfish if something have, but after that, they keep the truth. That is my experience. So I think if a lot of people practice Falun Gong, the social moral will become better and better.
One of the core principles of Falun Gong is truth, and it seems to me that is not what the CCP is about.
That's right.
The CCP doesn't care about truth; it cares about power.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
That is one of the key reasons that the practitioner of Falun Gong, they need to adopt this truthful compassion tolerance in his everyday life, so people don't tell lies. People won't speak the truth. Will never deliberately, consciously tell anything lie. So, and this totalitarian regime like CCP, they rule the society and the people by deceptions, by violence, by fighting class struggles. They control the media. They brainwash the people. They can't tolerate the people who understand the truth, then talk about the truth.
yeah,
That's one of the things. Another thing I want to mention about it is when the first 6 years of rapid growth in Falun Gong, the communists just let alone. There are a lot of good things reported everywhere there. But the moment when they decide to crack down on that, they slander the group. They say the people are killing their parents or whatever things.
Yeah.
Then why that the first 6 years there's nothing like this happen? The moment you decide to crack down, there are people suicide himself or whatever things. Those were staged things. Was typical. For instance, the Guangcheng maybe welcome in the past, right, as a barefoot lawyers to help needy people.
Yeah.
But the moment they want to crack down on him, they slander him.
yeah.
For instance, slander him become the bad guy, become the enemy of the state, and everybody wants to do that.
Yeah.
That's typical way.
Yeah, I mean, totalitarianism is not concerned with truth, it's only concerned with power. And I would say that just this example alone shows that the CCP is not worthy government for the Chinese people because, as you said, and as Guangcheng said, for the first 6 years when it was really growing and many people were doing it, they were actually becoming better citizens, better Chinese people. And even so, the CCP wanted to crush it because it threatened their power.
Yeah. To add to that, the government branch, one of that is national sports commissions belong to the central government. They did surveys on the health benefits, on the numbers, on the behavior of Falun Gong. They come back to say there was about 70 to 100 million people practice that in 1998, a year before the crackdown. And each person was saved 1,000 medical costs per year. With 100 millions, you talk about 100 billion Chinese dollar, which is about 14 billion US dollar medical expense saved. And the number two, Zhu Rongji in CCP, actually openly communist, big saving of the medical expenses.
Yeah.
So it was impressed by people, actually by good people in the government still there.
You know, the other thing that impresses me, and some people listening won't know about this, but what is the name of the performing arts group I went to see?
Yes, it is called Sen Nieh Performing Arts. That was the traditional Chinese.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I think that the thing and I think if people have been listening to what you and Guangcheng said, in a way, Falun Gong was about helping the Chinese people to recover their traditional culture. And I wonder, because in the performances I saw, it was beautiful in many ways, and the dancing and singing and everything, and the music. But so it seems to me that one could say that the Chinese Communist Party opposes the Falun Gong because it is raising up or reminding people of traditional Chinese culture.
That's right. That's the deeper reason.
Uh-huh.
That's the deeper reason. Communism is not from China; it's from radical Europe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's they invade the
Yeah.
nice Chinese people. Everything they do is try to dig out the roots of Chinese traditions, culture.
Yeah.
That's what the 10 years Cultural Revolution is doing that.
That's what it's all about.
If people abide to the traditional Chinese culture and to traditional value, they don't want communists.
Right.
It's obvious. Okay. So if the nice things about 100 million, or with families and friends, probably 300 million or 400 million people, that's the renaissance of Chinese culture, traditional value. If they let that happen soon, today China will be something like the same performance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I want to talk now about, so we know what Falun Gong is, and we know why the CCP saw it as a threat, but I want to talk about what they did to Falun Gong, what they're doing to Falun Gong, and kind of the sequence. I assume, well, I don't really know. In 1999, when they cracked down, was it a brutal total crackdown, or was this a kind of graduated thing over a couple of years?
Yes, communism has been very arrogant in China. They have done this more than 20 different crackdown on different groups. They have never failed.
Mm-hmm.
So they are very arrogant. So the Jiang Zemin, the former head of public, announced they want to eradicate Falun Gong in 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they plan.
Mm-hmm.
So they established an office called 610 office, which was established in June 10th, before July the crackdown. This 610 office is Gestapo's-like office.
Gestapo-like, yeah.
Which is above the law, above everything. They can use the resources of the governments to do whatever they like. Okay, they can make people disappear if they want to. If they don't like you, they can kill you without consequence. Okay, so this 610 office, the purpose is to eradicate Falun Gong in 3 months. Okay, this is the first time that the powerful communists hit a wall. Okay, they don't understand why people go to cultivation practice. They think people love money, can be bribed, can be terrified. Okay, they think people can easily give up freedoms under the power. But this is not the case. The Falun Gong practitioner go one by one, stand up to say, no, I want my freedom of thoughts, freedom of belief. okay, I'm a good citizen, I did nothing wrong. And they even protest in Tiananmen Square, in everywhere, let them know we are good people, and the government, certain branch of the government, public security and others, they are bad. Okay, so this thing happens, that was very terrible. This the arbitrary detentions, massive arrests, and imprisonments, and sentenced to jails, torture. There's more than 100 different kind of torture.
More than 100 different kinds of torture.
Torture methods they used, okay, and psychiatric abuses and forced re-education, forced labor, even the worst, the forced organ harvesting. They kill people alive for the organ demand.
Yeah, I'll come back to that too.
Yeah, so they use everything they can. The only thing they don't know is they don't believe in God, believe in divine. They don't know how powerful is the spirits.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, when I went to the performance, that was one thing that was, emphasized, was this sense of the divine, the heavens. And so communism is materialist. It denies the existence of any spiritual reality. So like you said, they expect people to be greedy for material things like food and everything else. And they don't believe in, they don't understand, and they don't tolerate any belief in a spiritual reality. So that is, I think, another part of the threat the Falun Gong was to them. Guangcheng, did you?
So I remember 2000 in the summer. At that time, I remember I stand by some road, and one car come from the way and come to our village. Then, and the 3 police come out and ask me, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm just play here." So they asked me, "What's your name?" I said, "Why I need to tell you?" They said, "Oh, I'm a police." Okay, why you have sunglasses with you? I said, "Which law said I can't have sunglasses with me?" And then when I talk, they said, "Oh, sounds your voice not the local language." And someone tried to touch me, and I used my hand, stopped it. And another person said, "Hold on, please, let me ask another farmer." More than 3 farmers sit there. The person come there, ask, "Oh, do you know who he is? Who is he?" Yeah, they said, "Oh, that's Guangcheng, my neighbor." Oh. Then they come back and said, "Go." They come in the car. When they gone, my neighbors make a joke to me. They said, he said, "Oh, they think you are Falun Gong." The meaning is, if you are Falun Gong, they will arrest you. So in fact, after the Communist Party decided to persecution the Falun Gong, a lot of people died. A lot of people in jail or prison. Yeah, even when I was in jail, that is after 6 years, 7 years in jail. Still, the company still arrest a Falun Gong in there, the practitioner. So you can see since that time, the Communist Party never stopped to persecute them. And of course, the Falun Gong still join hand to against the back.
Thank you for listening to part 1 of a 2-part series on Falun Gong. We will release part 2 in 2 weeks. Until then, have a great day.